Hi, welcome to Simply Narelle Stitches, and it's time for my next Flosstube, which was meant to be on the 22nd of June, and that is not today's date. It is the 13th of July, and I believe my last Flosstube, let me have a look, was on the 15th of June, so I've missed quite a few weeks, but never mind, I'm back now. Different video today, face down, you don't need to see my face, so this is what you're going to get. Right, I have a whole load to share with you because I stitched, I think, every day, maybe I missed one day, and a different project every day, so that's a whole lot of projects I have to share with you. You can probably see a pile here, and I've got a pile next to that, and then a pile on the floor, so we've got a lot to get through. But first of all, I want to mention a few things. So I made a comment on my last video that when I do my full coverages, I don't buy the gridded fabric, and I grid in lead pencil thinking that it would come out. Well, Lisa Whitaker 5680, thank you so much for your comment on my video, told me that the pencil won't wash out. No. So, I now have changed the way I do my full coverages. I was a cross-country stitcher for full coverages, but now I've decided to park and be really diligent that I don't go too far with my stitches. So I try to keep it in a column or the row or diagonal. I've done a bit of diagonal stitching as well, but I keep it in the 10 by 10 and then park from there. If it's any more away than like maybe 15 stitches, then I will finish the thread because I don't trust my counting, and that seems to be working so far. So thank you, Lisa, for that. If I do grid with pencil, it won't go outside of the borders of the piece. It'll just be like internal, that'll get covered with the stitching anyway. So yeah, but I'm enjoying the way I'm doing it at the moment. Either the column of 10 or the row of 10 or the diagonal by 30. And I've forgotten the guy, what's his name? I'll link it below. Here's Flosstube, where he has a really good tutorial on how he does diagonal stitching in a 30 block, and it's really cool. Anyway, the other thing is I thank you for the person you know who you are, who bought me a couple of copies last time in my buy me a copy link. That helps tremendously with postage, so thank you so much for doing that. And I also got a lovely stitching mail. I didn't ask permission to share your name, but you know who you are. Beautiful stitch flowers in a little card. How gorgeous is that? So pretty. She was a giveaway winner and sent me this lovely thank you note, so I really do appreciate it, and lovely words on the back. So thank you so much. That is gorgeous. I have that up on my little side board so I can see it every day. Thank you so much for that. All right, so now let's get on with our stitching. Right, I don't know how many I have because I stopped counting, and I also stopped taking notes. So I normally write down every day what it is I stitch on and how many stitches I've done, blah blah, things like that. And I sort of stopped doing that after like 10, so I don't know. Anyway, here we go. The first one is, oh gosh, I love gardening. So some of these I will have the stitch counts for and all that sort of stuff. Others I won't. And part of the reason is my stitcher, the counter I use, went a bit haywire. And I know I was at 300 and something odd stitches. And then when I looked at it next, it had 0. And I'm going, oh no. So I sort of went, nah. Yeah, it won't say what I actually said. But I went, I'm just not going to bother counting anymore. No one probably really cares how many stitches I did, you know. Anyway, this is the first one I got to show you. It's by Dimensions. It's called I Love Gardening. and this is an old one. It's probably a 1980s, 1990s copyright. 1996 copyright. And this is when I was keeping my notes, and I stitched on this one for 335 stitches, and this was part of my Just Kits June. So this is a kit, and that is where it is now. So I worked on all this up here, I think, some of this down here, and then some of this here, I believe. I may have done some here, I can't remember, it was too long ago. So there you go, that is the first one. Now I'm hoping you can see. When I edit this video, I will zoom in closer than what I'm actually seeing on my screen, on my phone, and I'll try and brighten it up. So apologies if it's not the best, but I thought I cannot leave it any longer to do a video. And I can't do a face-to-face today, so it is what it is. And yeah, you're here to see my projects anyway, not my face, so we should be okay. Alright, so that is the first one. Next we have Complimentary Callers cropped version by the Cross Stitch Studio. This I worked on twice for I'm sorry, 930 stitches, and it's now sitting at 0.75% complete. Now, if you're not aware, the Cross Stitch Studio have retired, and all their patterns are currently available on Pain Free Crafts, but only for as long as Sarah from Pain Free Crafts can keep the license. So she already has a full suite of her own designs that she has licensed. So whether she can afford to or wants to extend the license for the Cross Stitch Studio ones, only Sarah can tell us. She hasn't made any sort of announcement yet on any of that. So, but if you want anything from the Cross Stitch Studio, jump over there and grab them in case there comes a time where Sarah doesn't have them available anymore. So there we go. So that is what I've done on this one. Love this one. And I wanted to get to the flowers at the top. I'll show you, because on the side down here, this is stitching just the black and that aqua coloured stripe, and that's a whole lot of black stitching. So I wanted to get to some colour before I finish. That's why I worked on it twice. And you'll see this one I am converting to the diagonal in 30 blocks. So I think I've shown this one before, and this is the one that Lisa commented on about the pencil won't come out. I did try to erase it. I tried to wash it out. It's not budging, so is what it is. Yeah, and then I tried a removable pen. What's it called? Sorry, I got the coffee. A wash out fabric marker, but it's too thick, and so I thought, oh, if I'm doing the diagonal, I don't really need to have it gridded anyway, because I'm not going outside of the diagonal. And even within the diagonal, if it's too far to count, I'll just end the thread. So, and these are the part ones I have at the moment. So I'm loving this, and I had to stop. I could have kept going on it. I thought, no, I've promised myself I'm going to keep to my plans and work on my kits, but this one was calling to me and I just had to try it. So anyway, I think there was possibly a new start for Whip Go. I marked that down too. So that's how I got away with doing that. Is I have a few new starts on my Whip Go board. So I thought, yes, well, that will work if I put it on one of them. Love that one. Okay, next. Sorry. Oh, goodness. Not feeling that great. Okay, next. We have Bothy Nutcracker. Oops, gone the wrong way. Sorry, I know these bags are crinkly, but I have my fabric bags in these Amazon bags so I can squish more into my shelf. Otherwise I can't fit them all in. Alright, this was for Just Kits June. Bossy Threads, the Christmas Nutcracker. And this one I worked on once and I put 527 stitches into it. Gee, that doesn't seem that long ago. I remember distinctly working on this one. Didn't seem that long ago. It wasn't a month ago, surely. Okay. And that is where I am at. I already had the bow here and this. So I've put in, that's the border at the top, you can see there. And this leaf sprig, and that's the start of that bauble there that I have there. So that's 527 stitches. He is really cute. I am loving him. I love anything Nutcracker. So I started in the middle and then completed the Nutcracker, and now it's just filling in the outside. And there's a lot of fill-in, I tell you. There's a lot of fill-in. So, but anyway, it'll be worth it in the end. Yeah, they're very busy, these patterns. Sorry about that needle minder making that clunk. Okay, next we have another one for Just Kits June, and this is Vintage or Simplicity Vintage by Dimensions. And this one I'm doing in honor of my late mother because she was a seamstress by trade, but she was self-taught, and she used to work before she was married. She used to work at the Burley factory in Sydney, and then during the war they made, hang on, yeah, would have been during the Korean War, I believe, because she wouldn't have been old enough to be working during the Second World War. During the Korean War, I believe, she made the, I can't remember what they're called. They're like, oh, what are they called? Bank robbers wear? What are they called? You know what I'm talking about. But for gunners in the Navy and stuff, they put on this white mask thing with the eye holes and stuff to protect them from the flashback. So she used to make them during the war effort. So I don't know, hang on, she was born in 34, so she would have been old enough to make them, or maybe just old enough. I think she left school quite early and then went to work at Burley's, so I don't know what war, but anyway. But here we go. So I had done this half already, and this time around I worked here on this lady and I put in 381 stitches. So that is that lady there. Yeah, so this is coming along. It is slow. The bottom half is completed except for the back stitching. So I've done the title, like the wording down here, because it did have some cross stitches. So then I thought, well, I'll just finish the word. But as far as back stitching around her skirt, I haven't done that. And there's not a great deal down there. There is just like the flounces of the skirt and a few diagonals. There's not a lot to do down there. So that is that one. Okay, next, again for Just Kits June, is Angel Kisses, and this is a really old Dimensions one that if you've been here a while, you know the story. I started this, if you're new here, welcome by the way. I started this to put in the bathroom for my children in their bathroom, and when they were babies. Yeah, they're now, one's turning 26 this year, one's turning 22, so yeah. Okay, so this is where it's at. That's the whole thing. And I worked up here in the background of the sky, or the clouds, or whatever they are, and then I put this birdie in. He's so cute. He's backstitched and everything. This one I worked on once and did 275 stitches. So for this one, there's still quite a bit to do. Yeah. This section down here I think is done. I've backstitched. No, I haven't finished backstitching the flowers there. But the bird is done. The backstitching on those flowers is done. I need to finish the boy totally. His wings. I should backstitch this wing before it gets lost. Her wing, heap of background. They're all half stitches over here, which for some people might find really fast. I find them really slow. I don't know why. Yeah, his wing, and then the flowers over here. That's the start of his, I don't know what that is, broom or something. I don't know what that is. Why would you have a broom? What is that? I don't know what that is. But anyway, yeah, so there's still quite a lot to do on this one. It's taking forever. I had this on my 60 by 60 to have completed in my 60th year, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. Because I really don't like, for some reason, don't like working on it. Oh no, I've got things caught. Oh gosh. Hang on. Let me move that tub so I can get to it easier. Okay. Next, sorry. Just bashing and clanging things today. Wow. Alright. Another kit. This is Finery of Nature by Dimensions. 2001. Love this one. It is simply stunning. And I saw Stitch and Mummy stitching this. And I went, oh, I need that one. That is gorgeous. So I went and found it and bought it. And this one I worked on once and did 481 stitches. So not a lot. Okay, so I think I completed the butterfly. Maybe. I can't remember what I had done, but it wasn't a lot. And I think I did this half of the butterfly because I'd miscounted, and it was, I think I put on Instagram or something that I had to frog over 100 stitches because I miscounted, and these wings, this wing here was in the wrong spot. So I picked 100 something and then restitched it. And I think in my 481 I counted the original stitches that I had to frog because I've already stitched them. So it's like, well, I'm not going to say I didn't stitch them, just got to unfrog them. I mean, I had to stitch them again, but still they're stitches, right? So every stitch that goes into it I count. So that's my 481 stitches, which is not probably 481 there, maybe. But yeah. Anyway, so that's that one. A long way to go on this one. It is very detailed. So, and this around the outside looks stunning, but I think it's going to be a long time in the making, this one. Because I'm only there. Like, I've got that done and that done. That's it. Not even a third. Not even a quarter. Not even an eighth. I don't know. There's a lot to it. But anyway, I suppose when you've got so many whips that you are going to have ones that are going to appear to be neglected because you just can't get to everything. Okay. And next one we have is another kit, another Dimensions kit, Lovebirds. This one I worked on once and did 262 stitches into it. That's the whole thing. So I started this bird. I I don't know if I finished this one, but I counted across from this bird, that's what those stitches are, to this one, did his head, and then started up in the trees, because I thought if I do complete the birds, I'm never going to want to come back and do the trees in the background, because that is all just about full coverage, except for the white up here and the white there, sort of the white bits in between. The rest of that is all full coverage, so there's a lot of stitching in there. So I thought if I don't make an effort to do the background and then come back, do a little bit on the birds and then do the background, then I'm never going to want to do it, because just stitching this is going to be boring. But anyway, so that is it. Whether I do the whole thing, I don't know. Time will tell, I guess. But yeah. And plus I also was trying to work up to the top and then work down, and then that will force me to do a lot of the background before I just concentrate on the birds. And then I might skip the birds and do the rest of the background like a good girl. And then come back and finish the birds off. Who knows? Okay. Next, this was not a kit, so I don't know how this slipped in here, but it did. This could have been a whip go call, I think, maybe. Alright, so this is the Mad Tea Party by Bella Filipina. Really, really pretty. Love this one. So I worked on this. Wait, I don't think I have it down. Mad Tea Party. No, I don't have it down. Oh, I don't know. But I worked on it. Put it that way. I don't know how long for and what I did, because this was obviously after I stopped counting. It's definitely not on there. No. Okay, so I filled in. I had the all this outline done on the frame up here. So I had all the outline done, and then I just filled in with the colours. I think I've still got a little bit to do. There's like green down here. Now this is meant to be done in, I believe, a cry neck. So I went, no, I can't be bothered. I don't have the colour. I can't bother trying to find it. So I just chose a DMC that's a similar colour to the cry neck. So to me, it doesn't have to be sparkly. So I'm not going to bother about the cry neck. And I think I'm probably going to do the same thing on some of my Mirabilias as well, because I know the traditional Mirabilia people out there will be fainting right now. Only because I was working on Santa's Magic last night, and it's got maybe 10 or so cry necks in it, and it's like, I don't want to have to buy them and then find that I use them just for this project. And I think they're not easy to get either at the moment. So it's like, I might actually have a look at them and see. Sorry, I'll put that in the tub if I fade it away. And see if maybe I can just replace them with a DMC. So we'll see what happens. Next. Oh wait, hang on, I've got the chart at the front. Okay, this was a whip go call as well, I believe. Hopefully that's not glary. Let me take it out. So She Did by I'm So Emma from the Fat Quarter Shop. This was a whip go call. And did I write this one down? No, didn't. Okay. This is where it's at. But I haven't been mentioning fabric or anything. Never mind. This video is all over the place, but you know, you probably realise that by now. Okay, so I did this line down here, the S and the E. So I had already done all this up here, and then just did these down here. And I believe when I finish the E, that might be the end of the first page or something, or that's the start of the second page, something like that. Anyway, I believe that sort of there, I think there is the first page or something, and that's the next one down. So yeah, a lot of block stitching in this one, so you can't be tired when you're doing this because there's not enough to keep you mentally stimulated. It's like that is a whole lot of stitching. Doesn't look much, but you know, that's probably, what's that, 1, 2, 10, 20, 30, there's probably 50 or 45 blocks across there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, probably about 6 rows down. Yeah, that's a lot of stitching, and it can get really boring. But anyway, that hopefully will go in my sewing area when it is done. We shall see. And the colours on here, I'm using the colours that are called for, DMC colours. That is definitely more blue than that. Don't you agree? That's definitely a green. But anyway. So it's just a PDF that I got from that quarter shop. And in the same bag, I have this one, which I'm hoping is going to fit on the same piece of fabric, and that's So Happy. We're going to count them as 2 separate whips though, but they're just sitting in the one bag because I think if I worked it out right, pretty sure I can get them both on that one piece of fabric. Okay. 2 more at my feet. Okay, I believe this was a whip go call as well. It is Mirabilia Waiting for Ships, I believe. What's it called? Waiting for Ships. And this was after I finished writing down what I was doing as well. And I just have her head I'm working on at the moment. And I believe that is a treasure and beads. So all these bits here I've got left are beads, I believe. So, and that's beads per earring or something, I think. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so that is what I have done of her, nothing else. So I did quite a bit on her. I'm pretty sure I did a lot of her face and finished off the hair. So that was one night's work. And I don't know whether the treasures for these are going to be able to be bought now. They're still available. I haven't even looked into any of that. Any of my Mirabilias. But I was thinking about it last night, and because I was working on a Mirabilia last night, and I thought what I might do is look at all the Mirabilias I've got going and pick out 2 that are the most, well, 2 that are closest to a finish. One I know is Sabrina, and I don't know if Rose of the Province might be a second after. I'm not sure. I think there's something else that might be closer to a finish. They're nowhere near a finish, but they have the most done on them. And I think I'm going to maybe see if I can buy the bead packs and the treasures for them, and then maybe focus on them when I want to do a Mirabilia. I will focus on them, so then I already have the beads and the treasures for them. And then when one of them is finished, then put another one in that's I want to get the beads and stuff for, because there's no way I can afford all the beads and all the treasures and the cryonic and everything for all the Mirabilias that I currently have I'm working on. So I thought that maybe is the most achievable thing I can do. Alright, so next kit, Mason Jar Liner by Dimensions. I love this one. So delicate and pretty. Really, really gorgeous. And this one I actually wrote down. I worked on it once and did 208 stitches. And that is where it's at right now. So that is the middle. I'll bring this back. That is that one there. So I thought I was working in the middle, but I wasn't, because there's 4. Oh, there's an empty bottle there. That's that one. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. So anyway, I'm working to the left, which is good. I'll get the bulk of it done and then just come back and have 2 to do over here or 3 to do over there. So I'm up to this one here. And I put into it, did I say, 208 stitches. So that would have been just working on this jar here. This one is an easy-ish stitch. There's a few blends there, but the thing I find hard is the fabric. It's that kit aider that came with it, 14 count, but the holes are really tight. And I use the one needle I've used for donkey's years. It's actually a needle I got in a Dimensions kit a long time ago. And I mean, I do have other needles. They're all from Dimensions kits, I believe. I've never actually bought a needle for my cross stitching. I have a few on a magnet on my stand, and I just pick one of those. They're all the same. There's 3. They're all the same, but they're all Dimensions kits needles. And I'm finding it really hard to get the needles through these holes, and I don't know why. Like, they just seem really, really tight holes. For a 14 count, the holes are really little. Anyway. So I sort of cringe when I have to work on this one because it is slower. It does take me longer to get through my stitches because I'm struggling to put the needle through the holes, and it hurts the hands after a while. So anyway, oh, that's it. All the ones at my feet are done. Right, so now we get one pile next to me. But I need a coffee. Hang on. Okay, this I assume was for Whip Go. This is Spring Montage, artwork by Janet Stever, charted by Pain Free Crafts. Is available again on Pain Free Crafts. She had retired them for a little while. And I don't know how many stitches I've got done on this one because, yeah, I didn't write it down. And my iPad's not handy to tell me on markup how many I did. But that's the first page, and there's lots to fill in. So what I'm doing is I'm working from top to bottom, filling in the stitches. I was going to convert it to the diagonal, but it was just too confusing where the diagonals ran in amongst like all the stitching that I have done. So I went, well, I'm just going to complete this page going down typewriter method, picking a symbol, working it down until this page is finished. Then when I get to the second page, I will either work the diagonal or I'll work a 10 by 10 row or a 10 by 10 column. Depends on which method I want to do at the time when I pick this up again. So, can you hear that? My cat is snoring. She's in the corner over there, sound asleep. I don't know if you're going to pick it up, might be too far away. But if you hear some weird noise that sounds like a ghost or something, that's my cat snoring. Yeah, so that is Spring Montage. And I'm doing all these montages. I've got the 4 of them, all the seasons. And it's all Carolyn Zook's fault from C Zook Stitch because she showed them all. And I went, oh, they're really pretty. I'm going to get them. Yeah. There's a lot of stitching in them. Okay. Next. This, I believe, also is a Whip Go call. This is The Poison Apple by Bella Filipina. I don't know how many stitches I did on this. I worked on it for one night. So that is where it's at. I did her hair. I think I had already done her face and her neck, and I worked on her hair on this night. So it's basically just a black and a grey. And I'm really hoping she fits on this piece of fabric. I measured it, so it should be fine. But I have got my overlocker fixed. Yay! So now I really should overlock this before I lose too much of my fabric, because that is fraying really bad there. So maybe I need to spend a day and just overlock all the pieces that I haven't been able to. So there we go. That is Bella Filipina. And again, it calls for a fair bit of cry neck, which I'm not going to use. I'm just going to pick a DMC colour and use that. So, you know, doesn't need to be sparkly. I mean, I'm sure it would look so much nicer if it was sparkly. But, yeah, I don't have the funds for that, unfortunately. So, you know. Oh my gosh, it's all caught up. Okay. There's one more. Oh, I can't get to it now. I worked on the I'll Be Home cottages for my rugby league rumble. I did 388 stitches on it, but I've moved the Q-snap now because I've moved to August, so I'm not going to pull it out and show it because it's at the bottom of that tub now. I'll have to do it again and show you next time. But I was in credit. I was 83 stitches in credit because they scored 38, which means I needed to add 80. No, I was 75 in credit, sorry. Now I'm 83 in credit. But that was a few weeks ago. I didn't write down last week's score, and then this week's score, oh my God, was abysmal. They scored 0. They got absolutely flogged. It's very embarrassing. Okay, this is a Whip Go call as well, I believe. Right, this is it Celtic Summer? Celtic. I say Celtic Summer by Lavender and Lace. And I'm sure you all know what that looks like, and it's a little photo, I know. But I don't know how much I worked on this. And that should be that way because I always put my needle minder top left so that if I can't recognise the pattern because I've done so little, my needle minder will tell me which way it goes. So going by that theory, that is what I have. No idea where on the pattern that is. Let me see if I can work it out. Alright, that could be her sleeve. Because I start in the middle, which is going to be roughly here somewhere. Or here somewhere. I don't know. But that, I believe, is her sleeve. That's that dark bit that comes up here and around there. So that's her sleeve, yes. So that is where I am. Not much done. I have all these as well. All the seasons, as well as the Christmas one, I believe. Love them. But again, lots of stitching in them. So that was one night's work. I believe I worked up here. Like I worked up and then filled all that in. So and my dog's about to bark because there's a dog out the front barking. Oh no. So sorry if you can hear him. Yeah, the people on one side walk their dogs up to the park at the end of the street, and that sets off the dog next door barking, the other side of us, and then that starts our dog barking. Ah, joy. Needless, you know. Meanwhile, I should say, my cat's just snoring in the corner of the office. Alright, that was Celtic Summer. Next. You have another Mirabilia, and this wasn't Mirabilia in May because this was June. They must have just all been Whip Go calls because they're not July either. July is Christmas stitching. This might have been a July Christmas stitch actually. Come to think of it, this is probably a July Christmas stitch. I think it's Miss Christmas Eve. She's called. Where's the pattern? Oh, in the bag. Hang on. I believe it's Miss Christmas Eve. Where's the name? My goodness. Where's the name? Yeah, Miss Christmas Eve. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, this way. So I started in the middle ages ago. I believe this time I think I'd only done the green and a little bit of this red. I carried this red up and then started working on the flesh and that little bit there, and I believe that's that bit there around her neck, and that's here, that's her chest and her shoulders starting in there. So that's what I've got done for her. So I'm going to work my way up, do the face, the hat, and I believe that probably a lot of that is cryonic and beads. Do as much of that as I can and then work down and do that really big dress and those beautiful bows. So that's Miss Christmas Eve. And that I'm doing on a piece of 18 count Ada. So let's hope there's no 1/1. I don't think they're normally using those. Right, next. We are back to, no, this is Christmas, I believe, and though it's a kit, I believe this is a Christmas call. Cardinal Joy Banner by Dimensions, and that is where it is right now. Okay, so I completed the yellow border. I worked on the wood up here down to here, and then filled in some of these leaves, did a bit of the bird. I did quite a lot on this one. Pity I didn't count it because I worked on it, must have been a weekend because I did a lot on this one. So there's not too much, I say, too much to do. There's still a bit to do, who am I kidding? There is French knots in it. I don't know, I might see if I can find some red beads instead. Not a fan of the French knots. So it takes me 3 goes to get one decent knot, so I don't feel like fluffing around with that. Yeah, and then the word joy down the bottom. So I might see if I've got little red beads. I'm sure I do. If not, little gold beads. They'll do the same. So there you go. Cardinal Joy Banner. So that, I believe, is for Jolly July. Hopefully you all saw my post I put up. I didn't know when I was coming back to do another video for lots of different reasons. And I did say to follow me on Facebook and Instagram to see what I'm working on. And then I promptly, after about a week, forgot to keep posting. Anyway. Okay, so this is a new start for Jolly July. North Pole Express by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork by Jenna Della Crotaglia Maldonado, or something like that. I probably screwed that name up really bad, but I love this one. Lots and lots of confetti, but it's gorgeous. It's going to be beautiful in the end. It is 675 wide by 500 high, and it's got 87 colours. So I'm doing it on 25 count, 1/1 full cross, and that's what I've got done. So I'm doing this in columns. Let's hope I don't get the really distinct marks between the columns. We will see. I don't know. But that's sort of maybe halfway, 2/3 down the first page, I believe. Or maybe a bit more to go. I don't know. Maybe another half. I don't know. But yeah, so that, you probably can't see much of that because the stitches are so tiny, and they are full crosses, 1/1 full cross. But I'm loving it, doing the more detailed parking and keeping it like not, how am I trying to say, not do cross country. It is a lot slower, but I'm loving that there's no mistakes. Doesn't mean I don't make a mistake, because I did have some parked down here that I know were in the wrong spot. They were a row too high, so I did miscount. So that then got me thinking, I can't count as far as I think I can, obviously. I must struggle with counting, you know. So if it gets beyond sort of the next 10 by 10 block, I'm not going to count. I'm not going to park it, sorry, I'm going to finish the thread. So then I know that it is not going to go horribly wrong. But yeah, that is what I'm at. So that's up in the tippy toppy up here. So you can see that beige bit there. That's that bit there, I believe. That beige bit of the house. I think. Yes, I believe so. Yeah, because there's a tiny bit of blue on the edge there, and that's what that tiny bit of blue there is. Long way to go. And now my cat's decided I think she wants out. Angel, you're just going to have to sit there until I'm finished. Okay. Oh, now she's fallen over again. Oops. So she's right. She's decided to lay down again. Alright, next we have another full coverage. Winter montage. Again, artwork by Janet Stever. Artwork, no. Charted by Pain Free Crafts. Here we go. Okay. This, I believe, was also for Jolly July. And this is where I am. Sorry about the part threads. I am converting this to the diagonal because there's not a lot of threads that I have done. So I don't know where to put these so they're not in the way. But that is where I am. Where is she now? Angel, oh, you want out? Can you wait? Angel? Oh, alright, just enjoy looking at that. You can work out where I am there because I'm going to have to... Oh, I can't let her out. Can you wait? Anyway, that is that one. We will see if she keeps wanting out. If she wants out, she'll come and headbutt my leg, and then if I don't get up and let her out, she'll come and nip at my leg. The time I've got, if I open the door to let her out, she sits there for a couple of minutes thinking about it. So then it's like, well, she's getting closer to the door. Hang on, nearly done. Not really, got a few more to go, but you'll be fine. You go back there, that's a good girl. She'll come back in her little hidey hole. Okay, so where is this one? Here we go. This is another new start for Jolly July, and it's a Christmas stocking by Luca S. What's it called? I just call it the Santa stocking because it doesn't actually have a name, it's just got a number. PM1231. So this is a kit, but it's also Jolly July. And this is where I am. And I really, really hope I've got this in the right spot. Fingers crossed. It's really hard to know with kits, with the stockings. But that is where I am. So I did all that. That was just one night. Now, I believe that there is Santa's bauble at the end of his cap. That's that there, I believe. So, and then that is this bit here on Santa around to there. So I'm going to work my way up. That, I believe, sorry, is his hat, start of his hat. So I'm going to go all the way up to the top and make sure that I have it correctly placed. And then I'm going to work all the way around the edge, then fill in. So all the way around the edge, around here, so that I know that I have it placed in the right spot, and then up and around. Once I get up here and know that it's all going to fit and it's placed right, then I can keep going. Because to me, that looks like it's too far over, but then I've got to account for this bit here and then hope that it fits that way. I don't know, it's just confusing. Like, is it in the right spot? I don't know. We will see. Time will tell. So anyway, that's what I got done on that one. Oh, she's having a bath now, so she's going to be there for a little while. She's probably going to go back to sleep now. Okay, now another new start for Jolly July. This is what I worked on last night. We had the Christmas Village ornaments by the Gold Collection. Now these I am treating as the one whip, but when it comes to finishes they'll be counted individually because they are full coverage, so there's a fair bit to them. And that is all I got done last night. It's a pretty pitiful effort, isn't it? I stopped at about 10 o'clock to go and watch the golf, so you know. But that's all I got done. And that is this one. So that is the window there and the sort of pattern on the shingles there. So yeah, these I am struggling because I cut them into, like I cut the one piece of 8 they give you into 6 equal parts, like they say to do. Well, they say to grit it, but I wanted to cut it into individuals, so I could, just makes it easier, I thought, for me. But in saying that, now I can only stitch on this a little at a time because the way I hold it, I don't have a frame small enough to put it in. And the way I hold it, it hurts my hand after a while. So I'm thinking I may have to look around for one of those, you know, those wooden frames that are magnetized for, people use them for mill hills. I'm wondering if one of them will work for these, because then I can maybe clamp it in my Lowry stand. If not, then these will just end up being done. Maybe I'll have one on the go at a time and put one length of thread into it every day. Because otherwise, if I want to spend a night stitching these, my hand is going to suffer and I'm not going to get much done because my hand is really going to hurt. So, I don't know. We'll see. I might be able to make one of those frames up myself because they're not that cheap. And money is not that great at the moment, so, you know, we'll see. But yeah, there's that one. I love these all. But they have gold. I'll show you the gold thread. I've got it in a little bag. Where'd I put it? All this gold thread, but it says it's just used for finishing. So I don't know, is that what they use? Surely they don't twist it and put it around there because that's a right real pain. That stuff's not easy to work with at the best of times. I won't be doing that if that's what it is. I haven't read the instructions, so, you know, who knows. But I don't see much gold, where there'd be much gold stitching. Maybe a little bit in the details there, a little bit on the sleigh. Maybe the, whatever that is, looks like a cactus. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I've wanted to start these forever and a day. And finally, on my little wheel for my Jolly July, they got called. Okay, next. My coffee's probably cold now. Hang on, let me have another sip. Yep. Alright, what do we got in here? We got another new start for Jolly July. And it's another kit. Christmas Star Ornaments by Dimensions. And I probably won't be using the metal bit. They give you the metal to twist to make the handles. Probably won't be using that. And again, this is one where I think I'm going to have to get the frame to hold. It is on a plastic canvas, and that is what I've got done on the one night, which is pretty good. But I do prefer to stitch two-handed. Having to stitch the one hand is slowing me down, so I don't like that. Yeah, so that is, I believe, this one here, the Merry Christmas with the house. I may not put the Merry Christmas on it because that is just backstitch over the top. So I'm thinking I'm just going to leave the blue and not do the Cozy Christmas or whatever that is. So I might just leave it without that. And these ones with the tags, I don't know, I haven't looked. I think they're on top, so like it's covering the Christmas tree. And there as well. I'm not sure whether I could fudge the Christmas tree and make it just a full tree and not do that. I don't know. I'll leave those two to last because they're too hard to work out. But yes, that is that one. So I have lots of ornaments that I could do like I said, the one string a day on them, rotates through them. Okay, next, oh, this is a finish. Look what I finished. When Witches Ride. I took a day off from my Jolly July and went, this is so close to a finish, surely I can just get this done, and I did. There we go, When Witches Ride by Doreen Jones. It's a finish. What finish is it? I'll tell you. It is, where's my whip go? Look at that. First whip go done. Because mine are yearly goals. Oh, I didn't colour it in. This is finish number 48 on my 60 by 60. And my whip go. I'm getting sidetracked here. Now we're talking whip go, okay? Second whip go board. There's not too many on there. Third, a few more. And then the fourth and the fifth. So there you go. I can actually colour off a new start. Because I started something the other day and finished it on the same day. I know, right? I'll give you a sneak peek of that in a minute. It's for the future club. But anyway, so totally sidetracked. There we go. That was it. Go. Yeah, so there we go. Sorry, When Witches Ride. Yay! This was no mean feat, I tell you. This is like full coverage down here. And I do have an error somewhere. This is a bit wonky because I was not over enough or something. I don't know what I did, but anyway. Who's going to know? Now I pointed out, you know. But, yeah. That's so pretty. And I still have enough of this orange fabric. I can do other stuff on it. Maybe little Halloween ornaments or something. Oh, I feel my voice is going. So that was a finish. Yay. It didn't make my whip numbers go down because I started quite a lot, as you've seen, and more to come. Another new start. Right. Another Jolly July new start. It is the Christmas Sayings ornaments. It's pretty. Right. And again, this is a in-hand hold thing that hurts. So that's what I got done. Merry Christmas. I got to do, there's back stitching or something in the middle of the M. And I did the border. That's this one here. So I've just got all that stitching around there to do. There's a snowflake and other stuff. Other bits and bobs. Yeah, so doesn't look much there. And I'm sure I centered it, but it looks like this bit over here is bigger than this bit. And is it all going to fit? Oh yeah, there's not much there, is it? It's going to be very tight. But I did what they said. They say to grid the fabric into 6. I cut it into 6 equal parts and measured it and everything. But the weird thing is, some of these are, like that's a square one. But these are definitely landscape. That's portrait, that's square. And all the fabric is the same size. So square ones won't be a problem. But when you get a portrait or a landscape one, then their margins are going to be smaller, surely. Because they said to put the fabric in 6 equal parts, but they're not all equal sizes. So, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. Hang on, Angel, in a minute. Okay, we're nearly done. There's only a few more to go. Okay, this was a restart. What am I talking about? I am talking about Kringles by Little House Needleworks. So I restarted this the other night, and this is what I got done. Now I did measure the fabric, but I don't know. I was really unsure if it would fit, so you probably can't see it. What I did do was stitch across the top row of the house. Oh, I just dropped the bag. I stitched across here, And then I'm going to come down. Since I got over here, I thought, well, I'll just come down this side and stitch all the way to the bottom. So I know, because now I know it fits across this way. I'm not 100% sure on the bottom. Like, is it this long enough? So I'm going to stitch all the way down here and then see if it fits before I do any of the filling. And then I'll know that, yes, it's going to fit, and I'll work from the top down. Yes, I know, Angel, you want out. Yes, I know, I dropped that, sweetie. Give me. Oi, what are you doing? All right, hang on. Let me get my plastic bag. Oh, hang on a minute. Now she's sat on it. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Okay, hang on. I am still here. All right, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do with Kringles, just to make sure that it fits all the way down. So, yeah. But next time I pull this out, which will probably be, you know, next, probably Christmas time. Yes, Angel, I know you want out. Stop. I know you want out. Okay, hang on. All right, let me let the cat out. Hang on. Okay, so I let the cat out. Right, so this is what I was doing it on, and this is how much I had done previously. But I was struggling on this fabric. I really, really was struggling on this fabric. It is Belfast linen. I got it off a D-Stash, and apparently it was for some project called Angel of Freedom. A 32 count Belfast linen natural. It's a 1/2 meter by 70 centimeters. But I was really struggling. Even looking at it now, I struggle to find the X's. So, like the holes, I can just see, it's hard to describe. I can just see like lines and not, it's just weird, really, really weird. So I'm not giving this away yet. I'm going to sit on it and think about it. And maybe I can look at it in a different way. I don't know how. To try and see the holes better, but I'm really, really struggling with it. I don't know what it is. And it's swagger because it's got the thing down there, but I'm really, really, really struggling. I don't know. I've got other Belfast linen, but I'm not struggling on that. So I don't know what it is about this one. But yeah, so that was a restart. I did do a little bit on this. I did some of this around here. I worked on it for like an hour or more, and then went, I am so struggling. I don't know what to do. So I went and had a look in my cupboard, and I found this piece that I'm pretty sure it fits. I think I measured it right, fingers crossed. And thought, well, I'm going to restart it. But I'm keeping this in case this doesn't fit. Then I can go back to this one. Does that make sense? Makes sense in my head. Anyway, so that's my story for Kringles. So I don't think it's going to take too long to work down the side. Like, I'm only doing like a few stitches in as I go. So fingers crossed, it won't take me too long before I realise if it's going to fit or not. So then that may be a future giveaway. If I know it fits on here, I don't see me seeing that fabric any better. I don't know. But it's made me a bit concerned to buy fabric online now, because like that other MCG Textiles fabric I gave away, a similar thing, that might have been a Belfast linen as well. I don't know. But then I've got other ones that say they're Belfast, and they're perfectly fine. I don't understand. All right, what is this one? Another Mirabilia. So this is Santa's Magic, is it? I believe Santa's Magic. I was working on this one last night. Let me have a look just to confirm. Pretty sure. Santa's Magic. Copyright 1995. Wow. Okay. And no idea what this linen is. But that is what I've done. And again, this, I desperately need to overlock this. So that's the top of his head. That is his start of his flap on his hat, and then I just worked over here. So this fabric is not that great either, but I can see the holes in it better. But I don't know what it is about this linen. This one and that one I was working on for Kringles. They won't stay taut in the Q-snap. I don't have a problem with any other fabric I have. These ones won't stay taut. I don't know. It must be the same sort of fabric. So this is apparently it is Belfast. See, Belfast 32 count in the colour, I don't know, 346, whatever that is. Doesn't have a name, just a colour. But yes, so it must be the Belfast linen that I just can't stitch on. I don't know. But I am struggling on this one. But I'm going to keep going. See how we go. And then it's a Swigart too, isn't it? Yes. Don't know. Okay, so anyway, that's what I got done. I was working on him night before last, I think, or maybe last night. I worked on a few yesterday, I should say, because yesterday was Sunday and I spent most of the day cross-stitching, so that center's magic. And then I only have one more to show, and my battery is holding up. I think my phone is going to go flat, so let's get through this. Okay, last one. And this was not technically a new start. It was one that I was going to FFO on UFO, but then went, I've got the pattern, I may as well do it. So these are stockings for my cat and my dog, obviously, and I bought these off Etsy before I realised, well actually after I bought them, I realised that they were actually copies from a magazine, unfortunately. So I was duped, but they are from, I believe it says on here somewhere, one of the cross stitch magazines. They've been very careful to cut it off, but I'm pretty sure it's from Just Cross Stitch or one on those magazines. I found them in a magazine somewhere. I went, hey, I got them, and realised, yes, well, they've just copied them and sold them as a PDF on Etsy. Very annoyed, but anyway. So then I thought, well, they're not legit, so I wasn't going to stitch them. And then thought, well, I've bought them and I should stitch them. Like, I've got them, so I know that I was duped. I didn't I didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident that, you know, I couldn't tell. I didn't know at the time that they were a copy from a magazine. So I thought, well, I'm just going to stitch them. So I had started this one, the cat one. I had already done the eyes and a little bit up here. So I did a little bit more here and then this bit here, which is the top of the cat there. Then I'm going to start on the red and go up and do the name and then come back down to the cat. But they are cute, aren't they? Aren't they gorgeous? And that looks like our little Benji. Oh, that's not our Angel because she's a rag doll. So different colorings, but it's a cat, it'll work. But that really looks like our Benji. Yeah, so that's the last one I have to share. Did that last night. Yeah. A couple of hours before I decided to go and watch the golf. Or sometime yesterday. Anyway, I worked on it. So that is all the whips I have to share. Now, what else do I have on my list? To talk about plans, well, I'm going to keep going with Jolly July. And, oh, wait, hang on. Hang on. Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah, hang on, I do. Okay. Sorry, I didn't think, oh no. Oh, battery's really low. Quick, I must finish. Oh. Hang on. Gotta be quick. Okay, so last time I gave away these charts by Silver Creek Samplers. Code word was sing, and the happy winner is stitching is my happy place. Congratulations. Email me. My email will be in the box below, the description box below. These are yours. I have stitched them. I did mark the charts with lead pencil and then rub it out, so hopefully they're not too damaged for you. That is it. There's no giveaway. Sorry, no giveaway today. I don't know when I'll be back. Fingers crossed it's soon, but I can't guarantee it. Plans, work on Jolly July for the rest of July, and then August is my birthday month, and I'm going to be stitching everything floral. So if you want to join me in that, get your floral pieces ready and stitch a month of flowers. That is it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give me the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And until next time, oh, I've got a sneak peek to show you. Look at this. I'll give really quick. Oh God, I can't pick it up. Really quick. Meow. That's going to be made into something else. Not just a little cross stitch. It'll be a scissor fob for next month's club. I believe it's next month's club. I know I'm working months ahead, so I've lost track of what I'm doing when. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Until next time, take care and happy stitching. Bye-bye.